they'd be doing kind of strengthening and conditioning work now. We'd be building them up and getting them ready for the spring, really. They're all cantering away all the time. Obviously, if any of them had any little physical or mental issues, we would be kind of going through that now and trying to get it sorted out before we start putting more pressure on them, really. But usually it's straightforward, really. It's to get them through the winter safely and hopefully have them in good enough shape when you start moving on with them, that they're able for it, really. We won't be in a rush with her. We'll take our time with her. Obviously, what she did was very unusual. We didn't. You couldn't really believe that a 2-year-old filly would do that. Like, to win obviously 3 Group 1s over 3 different distances. She's obviously she's quick, and she got a mile well in America the last day. Obviously, you'd imagine that she's going to be a miler type. Might get a mile and a quarter. But who knows? Obviously, she's by Frankel and out of Quiet Reflection, who was very quick, I suppose. But very unusual what she did, and obviously, like you said, it's we haven't seen that before. She's big, she's powerful, and obviously she has a great mind, great constitution. She was obviously going through her races very easily and doing her work very easily. If you see her in a race, she travels very well, and she really, when she quickens, she's puts a lot of her races to bed. Really off. It's a quicken, but obviously a lot of class, Mark. Really, that's what she has. It just made her very different, really. We thought the world of him, obviously, in the spring, and we kind of ran out of time and ended up he didn't start until late. Obviously, we always thought he was very good. I suppose what we did to him wasn't really fair to him, to bring him back after a maiden to straight into the Dewhurst. It was only a few days after, really. It was he's an unusual horse, that he has speed. We always thought he would get a mile plus. And we always had it in our head, like he every chance that he could get Derby trip. You know, he's out of a Galileo mare. He's a very easy, relaxed way of going. His art profile always suggested that he'll have probably no problem getting a mile and a quarter and could get further. So he's obviously a very exciting horse. Obviously, he ended up drawing where he was, and Ryan had to do a lot of his donkey work on him. And he just said James attacked him very early, which didn't really suit him with a horse only after having a run a week before, and he still didn't surrender, and he was still going at the line, we felt. So we thought it was an incredible run out of him, really. He's wintered very well. You couldn't be happier with him. Looking at him now, he's very relaxed, and physically he's a great size and shape of a horse, really. So his racing weight last year as a 2-year-old looked very like what the real good horses look in the autumn. He could be very exciting, really, Mark. Again, we won't rush him. He could go to the Guineas, but obviously he looks a Derby type horse. So I'm not sure if he doesn't go to the Guineas, he'll start in a trial. So he's not over big. He's a nice size type horse. He looked mature as a 2-year-old. So obviously he's great mind, and what he did was very unusual as well. When he won his maiden, he quickened up very well, and then when he went to York, I suppose the way he dominated the race and the pace he showed, and the way he quickened and found plenty, obviously just made him look very exciting to everybody, really. He'll be perfect, and we often see with those type of horses, it can be an advantage, because obviously they finished their seasons very fresh. He was nowhere near his end. He had 2 very kind of easy runs. He won his maiden and learned plenty, and won very easy in York. And I don't think Ryan even hit him in York. So, he had 2 very good experiences, I think, and that can stand to them from 2 to 3, really. Yeah, Henri loves good ground. He likes to be probably produced late. He's a very good mover. So I'd imagine he's kind of a miler type on nice ground. Take your time on him. Camillo, we always thought the world of him, and we just didn't probably get it right with him. He's the same. He's fast horse. He's able to quicken. he was super impressive in France when Christophe rode him, and he took his time on him. And he said when he quickened, he put the race to bed very quick. Probably doesn't do much when he gets there. So we learned a lot about him as he went, and he's a big, imposing individual as well. So physically, I would imagine he should be better at 3 than 2. Then Delacroix was a little bit slow to learn. He was a bit of a baby his first few runs, but learned as he went along. And Brian was very happy and very impressed with him in Doncaster. He felt that he was still coming at the line, and he looks like a horse. Obviously, he's a Debawi, but he looks like a horse will have no problem getting 1.25 miles and could get 1.5 miles. So big, powerful horse too. He's physical, loads of scope. He's not. Sometimes the Bawis can be a little bit short and strong, but he's not. He's a big, rangy type horse. Obviously, he's out a very good mare. So he's another horse to look forward to as well. Yeah, she's cantering at the moment. Physically done very well. She's very quick filly. Looking at her, obviously we'll be thinking of starting her in the Guineas and seeing does she get a mile or not. But she looks very exciting. Really, what she did in Ascot, she shouldn't have been able to do. It's a very difficult thing to get stopped once in Ascot, and I think she might got checked once or twice or 3 times in the race and still won very easily. So she's she's physical, very strong physical. She's big and she's powerful. She's loads of scope. And obviously the same could be anything category, I think, really. A lot of the mares are Galileo mares, and the lads held on to them. The ones obviously they can't hold on to everything, and some of them are sold, and they go on to be very good mares as well. But it is great. Like Galileo always put a lot of stamina, consistency, genuineness into his stock, soundness mentally and physical. So when they're added to stallions, high quality stallions, obviously anything can happen really. So obviously it's a big advantage for us. It's great to be seeing the other stallions as they come along and learning about them, which is it's obviously something that we obviously love and enjoy every day really.